Okay, now, I need someone who's really paid attention. Who really paid attention to that video. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, excellent. I got a lot of you guys. Good. Here's what I need someone to do. Who thinks they can summarize the Lewis and Clark expedition in only 5 words? Who thinks they can do it in only 5 words? Think about it. Think. Who can summarize 5 words? Do you want to give it a chance? Yes, sir. Stand on up. Okay, think about it. 5. I'm going to count to my fingers. Yeah, too many. Okay? Rethink it. Yes, ma'am. Stand on up.
They went to the Pacific.
Very good. Give her a round of applause. Very good. Okay, 5 words. Yes, ma'am. Stand on up. Very good. Give her a round of applause. Very good. Okay, you got it now. Okay, 5 words. It was daring and dangerous. Very good. Give her a round of applause. Yes, sir. They went on an expedition. Very nice. One more. Yes.
A journey that led to the Pacific. A journey to the Pacific.
A journey to the Pacific. Perfect. 5 words. Very nice. Okay, now we've been saying they. They refers to Lewis and Clark. But there were lots of people on this journey. A lot of very important people had a hand in this success. Raise your hand. Who are some of the other people that we need to keep in mind? Who are some of the other people in this? Yes, ma'am. Stand up. Sacagawea. Thank you. And good sentence there as well. Full sentence. Very nice. And who was she? You stand back up. In general, who was she?
She was an Indian who got kidnapped and then helped them on the journey.
She was an American Indian who got kidnapped, sent to another tribe, and then she what?
She helped Lewis and Clark and the other people on the journey.
Yeah. How did she help?
She picked food for them and she got horses. She proved that Americans were great because Americans didn't put babies on trips.
So why might a baby? So here's an Indian tribe that we've never met. Okay, they're like, ooh, I don't know about these people. Why would carrying a baby ease their pain? Why might they not be as worried now about these strangers if I'm carrying a baby? What might they be thinking, first of all? If I go up there and I've got all my people, I've got a hammer, what might they be thinking I'm ready to start doing? Yeah, they might think I want to fight them, right? But if I have a baby, what might go through their mind now? Babies are sweet, right?
Yeah.
They're sweet. And am I going to have a war if I have a baby in my hands? Probably not. So the baby showed, oh, they're just traveling. Okay? And so Julia had a lot of good things that you talked about. Good job. Give her a round of applause. So we got Lewis, Clark, Julia, who else? Yes, sir.
Groups of journeys.
Close. Core of. Starts with a D. When you find something. What? This new world. I just found it, or I just. Close. Not too clear. We'll get some help for it. Just say. Discovery. Okay. That's all right. Just I knew you'd do it. Stand back up. Who were the core of Discovery?
They help Lewis and Clark get to the Pacific.
Yeah, it's basically the rest of the team. Lewis and Clark are the people we always talk about, but the core Discovery is like the rest of the team. You need a team to do this kind of stuff. All right, so we've got who else?
Thomas Jefferson.
Ah, important person. Why?
He was the person that sent them on the expedition.
And who is Thomas Jefferson?
He was also the president.
He was also the president of the United States, so he has a lot of power in that. Very good. And did you have another person? We're good? Yeah, one more? Go ahead. The dog. Yeah, we all love the dog. All right, so we've got some important people there. Very good. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a game here. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
For a game? I got 7 people again ready. I need more than 7. Y'all ready?
Yeah!
Okay, first of all, can you please collect my items so I can go on my journey? Go right. Collect those. Ms. Evans, can you please help me out? I need 6 people. Gunner. Gunner. Alex. Come here. 3 more. That is 1, 2, 4, 5. I need 1 more, please. All right. My 6 people. You are now known as the writers. I wish I had a fancier name, but I don't. Okay, you're now the writers. My 6 friends up here are going to be a different station. Each person is going to be a different station. I'll put them at different tables in a moment. Now, what you guys are going to be doing is rotating to each one. Each of these people will have a question on their sheet. When you get to their group, they are not allowed to talk. Okay? Only you are allowed to talk. You are my speakers. Now, my writers, what you need to do is listen. You need to be listeners, because as they are talking, you need to be writing down what they are saying. Now, is it possible to write down every single word that they say? No, sir?
No, sir.
So what do you need to do?
Take notes and briefly summarize what they're saying.
Exactly. You need to write down, yes, sum up. Just like we did those 5 words, you need to sum up what they're saying. You can use bullet points, just jot down. You don't have to write complete sentences. Just write down ideas. Now, if they run out of things to say, it is your job to then keep the conversation going. Ask follow-up questions. Okay? The conversation should never end, but you should be writing at all the same time. You are not allowed to give any answers. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You guys talk. Can everyone here talk?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Do they know how to talk? All right. Perfect. All right, so I'm going to give each of you your sheets. And what I'm going to do is allow each of them, you're welcome, thank you for those manners. I want you to go ahead, I'm going to go down the line, each of them will read out their question so you kind of get some ideas flowing in your head. Now some of them have pictures which you will see when you get there. All right, right here, go ahead and please read your question nice and loud.
Speed chat. Based on this map, you can see how the size of the United States basically doubled as a result of the Louisiana Purchase. How could that have been a problematic situation for Thomas Jefferson at that time? On the other hand, what kind of positive opportunities come from this for the United States?
Okay, so when we got all this land, Thomas Jefferson bought a whole bunch of land, and you'll see it on the map, from the French. And the United States basically doubled. How could this have been a problem for Thomas Jefferson and the United States? But how could it also have been a really great thing? Okay, that's what you're going to discuss when you're with your name. Connor, read yours.
In 1803, President Thomas Jefferson bought 828,000 square miles of new land. The land located west of the Mississippi. It only cost $15 million, which is about 4 cents of
cents per acre.
Per acre. Okay. If you were Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson, what would you do with the unexplored land?
Okay, so what would you do with that land if you were Thomas Jefferson? Okay, go ahead.
Sacagawea was a valuable part of Lewis and Clark's work of discovery. Because she could speak several languages, showed the group came in peace, knew many survival skills like hunting and which plants would safe to eat, and was even able to get sources from the Shoshone. If you were to come to the United States today and you find yourself in a big city, what skills would you need to have to survive?
All right, so if you were an outsider today and you came to this country right now, what skills would you need to survive? Go ahead.
Lewis and Clark had many significant accomplishments, including being the first people to reach the Pacific Ocean by land, creating the first accurate maps of the American Northwest, documenting hundreds of species of plants and animals, establishing friendly relations in dozens of American Indian tribes, sparking the imagination of the nation to explore the western frontier. Which of these do you consider to be the most important?
All right, so it's up to you. Which would be the most important? Defend your answer. Yes.
This is a painting of Lewis and Clark's corpse of discovering eating the Shoshone for the first time. If Twitter existed during this time, what tweets would Lewis and Clark have typed? What tweets would the Shoshone have created to go along with this picture?
Okay, so you'll see the picture when you get there. Who knows what Twitter is? Okay. All right. So Twitter, where you make messages, right? It's kind of like Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So you get to tweet. What would you tweet if Twitter was around back then? All right. Last one.
Speed chat. Examine the routes taken by Lewis and Clark both on the outward and homeward journey. What do you notice about the routes? Can you determine factors that led to them to take these paths? Why do you believe they ran into dozens of American Indian tribes along the way?
All right, so this is going to require looking at the map and trying to figure out, why did they take the path, or route means path, that they did. There's a very good reason why. You have to really study that map. Okay. You sit right there. Right there. Go to that table. That table. You two stand up. You take that seat, and you're going to be the station right up here. Just grab here. These. Okay, so when the person who is my writer, after they read the question again to you, you may start talking, they will start writing. When you hear me say, "Eyes on me," you are going to stop what you're doing. No matter where you are, you're going to find me because I might be anywhere in the room, and you're going to point at me and say, "Eyes on you." Let's try it. Eyes on me.
Eyes on you!
Perfect. And that'll be the point where I will tell you to stand up, and we will switch, and you'll go to your next group. Is that your station? Okay, you can have a seat there. And you two can go up there. You can go up there. Question.
Do we write on this paper?
Yes, you can write right on that paper. That's totally fine. You can use the back as well. That's fine. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
On the paper for the different groups, do we just need to write down like the numbers of the groups and their names?
Yeah, you know what you can do? You can do like after each group, you do a little squiggly line just to show the breakdown of it. That's fine. On your mark. You can use that green sheet. Get set. Go! You're right there. You're right there. You got a question. You guys can go around. It's very interesting hearing the conversation, so feel free to y'all feel free to go around. It's very interesting hearing the conversation.
No, we don't have it. We're heterogeneous in the whole group. What's that mean?
Kind of like that. It's following each other around the whole thing. So your low kids are always the low kids, and your high kids are always the high kids, and there's no really beautiful right
Explain why too. Why really
Honestly, this is what we do. This is what we do. There's a little bit more theatricality to it. But now,
You know me, Corey. You know me. Yeah. How many?
it'd be interesting to see the girls
Makes me tired. How many you got? You've been doing the leaf. I started deleting. Please look at all these leases. See how it reads.
You guys keep talking. You keep listening. Just keep talking.
Yeah.
Explain why you
He didn't know I was up there already. I wanted to let him know it was coming out. I figured that was a good easy way to do it. What are you up to? What are you up to? Because I told Sharon. That's all I
Get to the Great Awakening, man. I'm on the top of this
From the release of Lord. That's good. I only have to look at those.
Eyes on me!
Eyes on you!
Yeah, you move to the back. There you go. Okay. My speakers. Writers, you stay right where you are. Speakers, stand up. We're going to go in a clockwise position. Point in the clockwise. That's clockwise. So you guys will go there, you'll go there, you'll go there, you'll go there, you'll go there. As soon as your my writers, as soon as your new group gets there, read the question to them and go. Go!
And like I said, this is the easiest year ever. You're fine. I don't even know when. Yes, you better do it now. I'm home calling. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're ready.
And also make farm.
You're brought up in it. That's the expectation of your life.
Here we go. That didn't speak English or writing. What else would you wish to know?
This class is
Red is there.
Here, look.
Yellow to red.
Well, thank you. I miss you all. Can it be easier this way? Well, no, it's in it. She likes me. My favorite outfit that she has.
What is going on? What might What might
So what did you say, money?
Same thing. Why not? Well,
And make houses. 4-story houses. No. Okay. Houses for starters. Well, why would you make a house for
Eyes on me!
Eyes on you!
Speaker, stand up. Rotate one spot clockwise. Writers, as soon as your move comes, you may begin. As soon as your move comes. Go ahead, read your question.
Okay, second one is a valuable part of the discovery paper. Second one is
Oh no, I read
Now they're processing.
Got a steady hand up. You're trying to, I think I'm trying to turn it. It didn't.
Good. What about you, Lucas?
you want to plan why would you make them
So they're going to be in good shape.
You showed our US today.
The last thing that he did,
So what's the skill?
really liked it. It was good. Get to lift the signs. Yeah, I took a picture of it.
They skip. Okay, so you think it worked.
He had 4 friends that had statements, and they had to agree, pick one friend they recognized, put them in corners, and then let each group talk, and they can move between groups whether they agreed or didn't agree. Oh, that's cool. It was really good.
Okay.
It's called 4 Friends.
And you keep choose that out.
I can't turn it. They vote, first they vote on the back, who they agree with why they went to the groups. Oh, text me that right there. Now that's to me. Yeah, I liked it. You want to text or email? Do email. Roger watched his stuff do it again. I emailed it to myself instead of you. That's where my brain is. It's okay, I need it on email from anyway.
I don't think it's up to you.
Yeah, that would be cool.
This is how I like. Let's just watch it. Maybe it's YouTube or yeah.
Okay, eyes on me.
Eyes on you!
Have one more rotation. Stand up. Rotate.
Okay.
And go.
Look at that. The secret is anyone for instructions, but there can be in front of many together. Sounds like another problem. Even
At least this is my special edition. They're playing on something.
Don't worry about me.
So with the high kids, you do it. Yeah, I already know this stuff. I can listen to them do this. And then you go,
Why would you?
I'm gonna do this because I'm gonna do this with this level. So that's what you like. We can use the computer for maybe like a startup assignment.
Okay.
And then as soon as we get into the meat of the things, we need to put that right away.
Okay, and why that?
But that's not the whole plot. I mean, the reality is, so I mean, it's the right movie, what I'm saying. But the reality of the situation is that the application is supposed to be used.
So we need to know how to
You can use it as you see fit. But
Where do you
when the word comes down,
Why?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Communication is so important, right? So you have to learn to write.
right. That's right.
And I'm going
Okay, eyes on me. Okay, I need all of my speakers to go back to your seats. All of my writers to go over to the front. Go back to your original seats. My writers. All right, stand up. All right, my writer. Take a second now. Look over your sheet very closely. Look over your sheet very closely. So I'm going to take away your sheet in a moment and ask you questions so you need to really see what you have. Everyone else. Did it get easier as the game went on? To think about what was going on? Did it get harder? It got harder? Why? Okay, so you found harder questions on the way later. That's fine. Okay. All right. I'm going to take yours first. Okay, now I know not everyone got to every person. That's totally fine. That's not a big deal. Okay, your speed chat, by the way, it's called speed chats. Your question asked about what would you do with this land? Okay. Now I already took this for you. What were some of the top things that stood out to you? What were some of the big things that stood out in a few words?
Most people that
Don't even think about sitting.
that came into my group, most people wanted to build villages and houses and stuff like that.
Okay, and why would villages and houses be something that Jefferson would want to do?
If their land got hacked, then they could move to that land.
Okay. Is there anything that was not said that you would have added? I think groups came up with a pretty good list.
Up there, like a place to store money. Right?
Okay, yeah. All right, that's a great idea there. Good job. Let's give him a round of applause. Good job. You can have a seat. You can have a seat. Okay. Now, this was one of the math questions. All right. This looked at what were some of the positive things that come with having that much land, and what were some of the negative things. So what did people say was a couple of the positive things that came with having so much more land? What were good things?
Well, I heard one of the groups say that it could be they can have more resources and they can have more room to explore, find more food and water, and they can learn different cultures. That's what I would have added. No one said that. But they also also mention that since they have more land, they can build more ports and more areas to store food, and it could also be like new land for taxes.
Ah, so it's going to come with
Money.
money. Very good. Now, what were some of the problems that can come with having so much new land? Tracking the speaker up here.
It would be loss of a lot of money. Thomas Jefferson lost a lot of money. The Indians, I bet they were scared and mad that there are these new people that they have never seen before crossing into their territory. So I bet that got them a little spooked and, alerted. And it could also be negative for many people could get maybe really sick or ill on an expedition when they were traveling. I realized that no one mentioned that.
Okay, so that would have been something you would have added there, with getting possibly sick or ill, and many did die actually on there. Very good. Let's give him a round of applause. Good job. Okay, come forward. All right. This was a hard one. This was probably the hardest one here, because I asked you guys to look at the map and pay attention to why did Lewis and Clark and the Corps of Discovery travel along a certain path. They took a very specific path. What do you think? Did your groups come up with a theory on why they traveled the path that they did?
Not really a specific theory, but I have had something about it.
Okay, what do you think?
Well, they took that path. For one, it led to the Pacific Ocean, so they thought that was a good path. And they took that specific path also because if they were going west, they wouldn't go east all the way around the world. They would take the easier route.
Okay, now, these paths, there was a red path and a yellow path. And for those of you that were in this group, there was also another color on there. What color was that? Blue. What did blue represent?
It represented the rivers.
Rivers. And if you look, their paths pretty much went the same way the rivers did. Why do you think they went along the same path as the rivers?
Because they did travel by boat part of the expedition. They would need some water to travel their boat.
Okay, so you can use a boat. But why did they run into so many American Indian tribes along these rivers?
Well, the Proclamation 1763 said that the Indians lived there. So the Indians were there currently at that time. So when they were traveling, they just ran into the Indians because that's where they lived.
Do you think it was a coincidence, though? Why would these Indians choose to live along this river?
They might choose that area because they might need water and maybe some fish to eat.
There we go. Guys, living on a river provides a lot of things. It can provide water. No, it can provide water. It can provide fish, which is what? Food. It can provide transportation, getting from one point to another. So it is not a coincidence that they ran into a lot of tribes along the way. It is also not a coincidence that they followed these rivers because, much like the American Indians, Lewis and Clark and the Corps of Discovery needed water and fish and other things to survive themselves. Also, a little bit of science here, rivers always go to what? Oceans. So if they followed the river, what do they probably have in their head? If I follow this river, I'll get to some ocean eventually. All right, they may not know where or which one, but they were pretty sure they'll get to some other ocean. So it was not a coincidence there. All right, very good. Let's give her a round of applause. Yeah. All right, this one. Ask which accomplishment did everyone think was the most important? Was there one accomplishment that stood out? Was there one that a lot of people picked?
Yes, sir. They picked reading the accurate maps leading to the northwest.
Okay. And is that one you would have picked as well?
Yes.
And why did people say that was so important?
Because if they created accurate maps, if they came back, they could they could kind of bring other people together for a group and give them the accurate map to explore the same route that they took and see if they make it there just the way that they did.
Very good. So it would allow future people to go that same path. Very good. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, this was a fun one here with the painting. I asked you guys to tweet out something. What would Lewis and Clark or the American Indians tweet? What would they say if Twitter existed back then? So what was something that stood out to you? What was a tweet that people came up with?
That they just made friends with the Indians there, and that they are not dead.
Yeah, I like this here. I see that. Hashtag, we're not dead. I like this one here. Who said hashtag, we come in peace? Why'd you say that? Stand up. I like that.
Well, they didn't want to come at war with the Indians, and Sacagawea had a baby with her, and she didn't want the baby with her.
Exactly. We come in peace. Now, how might, if you were an Indian, what might you say? Because here's this unfamiliar group that's coming to your house, to your tribe. What might they tweet out? What might they say?
Hashtag weapons ready.
Yeah, weapons ready, yeah.
Hashtag prepare for battle.
Yeah, because they're thinking that
We're gonna hurt.
we're under attack. Very good. So the same picture produces very different points of view. Have you guys talked about points of view in language arts at all, or reading? Okay, you will. And so this is about point of view as well. Good job. Let's give him a round of applause. And our final one here. Ask, if you were to come to the United States today, you have never been here before, what skills would you need to survive? What were 2 or 3 of the biggest things that people came up with?
Every group thought up reading and writing, because if, say, you were coming from China, like, they write with symbols, but they know what it means. You would need to know how we write, and so you would know where you're going if you're going to go into a place.
And so reading and writing is really just a form of what?
Communication.
Exactly. So communicating. And isn't that what Lewis and Clark and Sacagawea and the American Indians needed? They needed a way to communicate, especially when they don't speak the same languages there. Was there anything else that stood out?
One thing that stood out to me that Maddie said was resourcefulness.
What does that mean?
You need to know how to use your resources and what you have and how to use them.
Very good. So how to survive. Resourcefulness. Very good. Let's give her a round of applause. All right. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask one
How to what? Pay taxes. That is a skill. Yes. A very good skill. Did you have one that you didn't get to?
The one thing that I would have said, or that I think would have been a good skill, is a math skill, so you can know your way around.
Absolutely. You need a map, right? Do you have one?
Yes. Also, I would make sure like how people act, like because many other countries or continents they do different ways of acting and traditions, and if they come to the United States, they have to learn to act like us.
So different customs. So learning the customs, the skills of the country. Very good. All right. You guys did an awesome job. You know a little bit more now about Lewis and Clark and the Corps of Discovery and how our country got just a little bit bigger. Give yourselves a round of applause. back over to Miss Evans, and I will take my step and go on my expedition.
And we want to thank you, and how do we thank Mr. DeVito for being here and giving us our lesson today?
Funnest. We'll do language arts next.